You know, these little kids realize at an early age, like you talked, you know, at 6 years old, they're realizing that, hey, I don't have to work. I can get a check just like my folks do. I mean, I think that needs to be reformed. I think we have to look at ways to reform our welfare system, our welfare state that we're involved with. We've got to reform that. We've got to get people back to work. You know, and something that has to go hand in hand with that is to get the jobs back. We have to protect our markets. It can't just be on the one side, turn everybody loose and stop supporting people. They have to have something to go to. And that's why I think NAFTA, CAFTA, these trade agreements have to be addressed. This trading idea that we just level the playing field with all these countries that pay very low wages, that have no environmental protections, and that we can compete head to head with those countries that do that. We can't do that. I couldn't compete with my neighbor across the fence here if he had a completely different set of rules. And for me to try to compete with him, I can't compete with people on that kind of a playing field. We need to protect our American jobs. We need to protect our country. We need to protect the dairy business, our farmers, our manufacturing, Main Street. People don't understand what's happening to this country. We cannot import and spend. We can't import everything and export all of our jobs and just print money and have a prosperous country. It won't work. We know that now. The Tea Party movement and the protests that are going on, people realize something is fundamentally wrong in this country. We've been sold out by our politicians. We're concerned about our family. I mean, I'm concerned about my family. I'm not a professional politician. I'm just a family man here in southern Missouri. I've got grandkids coming on, and I am concerned about the future that they're going to face, like you are.
Well, you know, it's not that people don't get into situations that they need some help, but there is a difference between situational poverty and generational poverty. And I'm afraid that we are turning from, you know, helping people just in a bad situation. They've just got themselves into a hard situation, and things happen to people, and I understand that. But when it becomes a generational problem, where those children and those families, they don't see how they can get out of this, that is so sad for them, and we have absolutely stolen that from them. And, you know, as a teacher, my hope is to, if I can teach a child to read, if I can teach one child to be a reader and to be a lifelong reader, not only am I going to change that child's life, but that child could change their family. They are definitely going to be changing their children's lives, and hopefully that will encourage them to become a lifelong learner and a productive citizen. And that's my passion, is teaching children how to read. I think everyone has that right in America to be taught how to be a literate citizen and to be able to read and to write.
How can they read the Constitution? How can they read the Federalist Papers? How can they read the things that our founders wrote that explained a lot of, you know, why we fought for the freedom that we have in this country? And that's another thing I just touched on. I believe our education system needs to teach our kids the foundation, the principles of liberty that we have in this country. They're not being taught that in our schools, I don't think. You can talk to young people today. They don't understand the principles of freedom. They don't understand that government doesn't create wealth and government doesn't create jobs. When the government creates something, it takes from people like us that are out here in the private sector. I'm in the private sector working, and they've got to take the money out of our pocket to create those public jobs. So there's a disconnect. I don't think kids realize today how that works, how prosperity works, where wealth comes from. And we need to teach our kids that, and they need to understand where our freedom came from and the sacrifices that our founding fathers made when they created this country and fought for this country. And we need a grassroots revolution in this country to bring those principles of freedom back into this country. We need to send people to Washington, D.C. to fight for what we stand for out here in rural Missouri and southern Missouri. We've lived here. We've lived here for 33 years. We've worked our tails off here to have what we have today. It's been a struggle, but we appreciate it, and we appreciate what God has blessed us with. But it's been because of hard work, prayer, trusting the good Lord to help us and give us wisdom, and to work hard and be responsible, provide for my family, provide for my children, provide for my beautiful wife, Karen. And that's what it's about here in Missouri. And we have people in Washington, D.C. that don't even understand how that works. And as a matter of fact, it's not that they don't even understand how that works, but they're destroying how that works. They are destroying our free enterprise, private enterprise way of life. And we've got to go to Washington, D.C., and we've got to take that back.